We're in the end game now. So, Avengers Endgame. This movie is simply just epic. So I'm not going to talk spoilers right now. I want to talk spoilers towards the end of the video, and I will warn when I talk spoilers. This movie should not be spoiled. It should not be spoiled. So I'm going to refrain from talking about anything that I even think feels like a spoiler. So don't worry about spoilers, because if someone spoiled this movie before I saw it, I would have been super pissed. Because it's an experience. So Avengers Endgame, like I said, we're coming off of Infinity War, which was just simply an amazing movie. If you saw it, just fantastic all the way to the end. I love that ending. I love how it ends. I'm sure longtime fans or comic book fans probably could have seen it, but still, it's one of those things where you're just like, no, a major studio would never make it so the Avengers would lose, but they totally did. So that was just a fantastic ending. So, you know, a lot of us were hyped to see Endgame, to see how they fix this, you know, the snap. And Marvel's promotion of the movie was just fantastic. You know, it was all about the loss and the grieving of, you know, these heroes who failed and trying to get their loved ones back. And this movie, for me, it lived up to the hype I had. It was just a fantastic movie. As a longtime comic book fan, it had a lot that I enjoyed and just made me cheer and happy. As a fan of the MCU movies, since I first saw Iron Man when it first came out, it's a huge payoff. You know, there's a lot of callbacks and everything like that. And if you've been watching these movies since Iron Man and you love these movies, you're gonna get a lot out of this movie. If you only watched a few of these movies, you're still gonna definitely enjoy this movie if you care at least for one of these characters. There's a lot to have. There's a lot, and it's just a fantastic movie. I overall recommend it, especially if you're a comic book fan. If you've been watching the MCU movies, even if you haven't watched them all, definitely go check it out. It's just simply an amazing movie. I absolutely loved it. I cheered. I fucking had tears going down my face at some points, which I don't care, man. There's a lot of crazy stuff that happens in this movie. You know, a lot of my tears are tears of happiness. I was just like, you kidding me? I never thought I would see this on, you know, on a movie. So there's a lot I want to talk about, but like I said, I want to save it for spoilers. So I'm going to go to the spoiler section because there's a lot I want to say. For me, this movie's a 10 out of 10. It's probably going to be lower for a lot of people. You know, there's a lot of factors for me that makes it a 10. Like I said, I love these movies. I'm a big comic book fan. Coming off of Infinity War and watching all these movies, like I said, it's a huge payoff. For me, personally, it was a 10 out of 10. There was so much I loved. Like, there's so many scenes I just want to talk about because there's so many fantastic scenes. But like I said, 10 out of 10. Alright, I'm going to talk spoilers. So this is your warning. I'm going to count to 3, and then I'm going to talk spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie, please get out of here. Go watch it. It's just fantastic. You'll love it. So, 3, 2, 1, spoilers. You've been warned. So, like I said, there's so many fantastic scenes that I want to talk about. Scenes that made me so happy, like when Captain America picked up Thor's hammer. I was so excited and I cheered and like, oh man, I felt it right here. It was such a great moment. I absolutely loved it. I'm really glad they put that into this movie, and I'm glad that we had a good little fight between, you know, Thor, Captain America, and Iron Man versus Thanos. That was one great moment. But there's so many great action moments. Just that huge final battle where we get all the heroes come in. Like, when all those portals start opening, I was just like, you see everyone like Valkyrie, Spider-Man, everyone who was snapped away, and a lot of the other heroes who we've seen throughout the Endgame just coming up to help in this final battle. I was like, oh man, it's so epic. And that final push where Captain Marvel was trying to take the glove to the truck or the van, and you see all the female superheroes line up with her, and they freaking rushed Thanos' army. That was also a great moment. Just the whole fight had a bunch of great moments. Spider-Man activating his kill mode on his suit. Just a bunch of fantastic scenes. Overall, like I said, there's a lot of great scenes, a lot of payoff. I love it when Thor talks to his mom. Like that was a good moment, and and he wants to warn her that she's gonna die, but she's just like, no, don't worry about it. And it's a great moment, and really Thor needed it. It's one of the things I kind of didn't like, that Thor. It was funny, and it kind of made sense in context that Thor's like overweight and he's very depressed because he failed to kill Thanos. And when they got their second chance at the beginning of the movie, where they found Thanos and he killed him because he was so pissed off because he destroyed the Infinity Stones and they couldn't do anything to reverse it. He was like overweight and everything. He just kind of seemed off because of it. But I love the moment between him and his mom where he just kind of snapped out of it and he's like, we got to do the right thing. I mean, just all the cameos in general were just amazing. We got Jane Foster to come back. It was a short cameo, but I never thought Natalie Portman would show up in these movies again. So it was definitely surprising. I'm glad she did it. We even got Jarvis from the Agent Carter show, the actual actor. So that was very interesting. We finally got an actor from the TV shows to show up in the movies, besides Coulson, but he started out in the movies and then went to the TV shows, so it's a little different. But yeah, let's talk about the big moments. There's a lot of emotional moments in this movie. Like, they start off emotionally. You see Hawkeye with his family, and you know what's coming. Come on. He's over there happily with his family. And the snap's about to take place. So he's there having a picnic with his family, and then they all get dusted. And it's just a sad scene. And, later we see him in Japan, where Black Widow goes to recruit him for their final mission. But speaking of Black Widow, I honestly did not expect her to die. That was a huge moment for me. I did not see that coming. I was expecting Cap, Iron Man, maybe even Thor, not Black Widow, because they're making a Black Widow movie right now. So I don't know if it's gonna be to create a new character or if it's gonna take place in the past, like in her distant past, or maybe during the snap. Like, we're gonna see, but that was an emotional moment because as soon as they said that Hawkeye and Black Widow were gonna go to go get the Soul Stone, I knew one of them was gonna die, and I was kind of thinking maybe Hawkeye, but I was like, no, I was on the fence. I don't want any of them to die, to be honest. But like when she sacrificed herself, and it makes sense with her character. She's kind of been going to that point, and Hawkeye is she loves the rest of the Avengers, but Hawkeye has always been her family. Like, she knew about his secret family and everything like that, and they've been close forever. So she made that sacrifice for him, man, and that was heartbreaking. That was one of the many heartbreaks in this movie. Just rest in peace, Black Widow. So that was crazy and really shocking. I love that moment, though. It was really good. I wish they had a little bit more payoff or a funeral for her at the end of the movie. I know they do talk about her and everything like that, but it's kind of overshadowed by the other major death in this movie, which is Iron Man. So Tony Stark dies in this movie. In the final battle, he uses the glove to, snap all of Thanos' armies away. All his warriors, his planes, his aircrafts, all whatever. He snaps them all away, and he kind of saves the day. Because Thanos comes from the past into the future to stop him because of all the time travel mechanics. But yeah, he does that, and because the Infinity Stones are so powerful, it ends up just damaging him so badly. Like, he doesn't even say anything before he dies. He's just kind of there, like, slowly dying, and it's such an emotional moment because you get Rhodey, his best friend, who comes up, and he's just like, Tony, and then you get Peter, Spider-Man, his protege, just also weeping and really sad. It's like a twist from the last movie where Peter Parker disappeared. Now Tony is dying in front of his eyes, and he's just so sad. And then finally we get Pepper Potts, his wife, his love interest from the first movie, the mother of his child. And it's just a sad, emotional moment. This is one of the ones that I kind of did see coming. Like I said, I was expecting at least Iron Man to die. So it was a sad, emotional moment. It was really good. Like, there was a girl, like, 2 seats in front of me, openly weeping. Like, it was a little distracting, but at the same time, I was like, man, go ahead and cry, girl, because I was tearing up. This is just sad, because like I said, he started these movies. The first Iron Man movie, like over 10 years ago, a little over 10 years ago, maybe 11ish. I don't know. He started this huge franchise, the MCU. So we've been with this character for a long time. He's been in a lot of movies. So having him die was kind of poetic because it kind of ends this big era. And it's also very sad to see this character that you've watched for a long time die. Really, really sad, but it was a great moment. And that was the only major. We're gonna get two major deaths, but we also lose Captain America in this movie, Steve Rogers, because he uses time travel to go back to take the Infinity Stones. Because he the big part of the movie was using time travel to go in the past and get the Infinity Stones so they could use them to revive everyone, which they do. So Steve goes back to take the Infinity Stones, and I think Thor's hammer as well, to repair the timelines. But he was supposed to be gone for 5 seconds and then just come straight back right away. But like it messes up, or he decides not to come back, and like they're kind of freaking out. But then the Winter Soldier, Bucky. I think Bucky notices him. Yeah. So Bucky goes over there, and we see like this old man just sitting on a bench, and I knew right away. I was just like, "That's Steve. He decided to stay in the past." Like, and so they go over there, Bucky, and freaking I'm forgetting his name. I want to say Red Wing, but I know that's not his name. The Falcon. So the Falcon and Bucky go over there to see who it is, and of course, like I said, it's the old man Steve Rogers, and he's just kind of sitting there happily, and they start talking to him, and he's just like, I decided, like Tony said, to get myself a life and live it. So he decided to stay in the past and live his life, which he very much deserved. I kind of like this. It kind of felt like it came out of nowhere, but at the same time, it was very deserving for the character. Like I said, I thought he was going to die, but there was a good change that they gave him, what he deserved, because he never had this. If Captain America would have just died, he didn't get his happiness like Tony did. Like Tony lived his life. Captain America was frozen for 70 years. He lost the woman he loved. He came back, and he's been pretty much fighting the entire time. He never got even a slice of that happiness like Tony did. So I'm glad they gave it to him. He ends up giving the shield to the Falcon. I'm assuming that he's going to become the next Captain America. It's going to be very interesting to see what they go with that. I don't know if that's going to be in their little Netflix show, the Bucky and the Falcon, or I don't remember what it's called. If that's when he's going to start becoming Captain America, or if they're going to wait for the next Captain America movie. I don't know. But the interesting thing is, I think the Falcon asks him, or Bucky asks him, because he has a wedding ring, and they inquire about that. Can I ask about who the lady is? And Steve's just like, no. He straight up denies them. But luckily, it's the final scene of the movie. We get a flashback to him back in the past. And it turns out that he marries Agent Carter, and they finally have that last dance that he's been waiting to have since the first Captain America movie, which is very emotional, very sad. I love that. I was just like again, like a tear rolled down my cheek. I was just so happy. I was like, that's what you deserve, Captain America. You deserve this life. But it raises a question for me. So if Captain America married her, doesn't that mean he made out with his granddaughter in Civil War? So he marries Agent Carter. Agent Carter and him supposedly have kids. And those kids have their own kids. Sharon Carter in Civil War, they end up, I'm pretty sure they kiss in one scene, right? Did he just kiss his granddaughter, or is it a crazy time travel thing and then she doesn't exist anymore? Because she hasn't showed up since that movie, so I don't know. But either way, I mean, the Russos directed that movie, so maybe they would have the answer. But I love that moment, but like I said, it raises that one question. Did Steve Rogers, Captain America, just make out with his his granddaughter? Which maybe I shouldn't be thinking 30 thoughts like that, but it does seem that way, to be honest. But either way, like I said, a lot of great moments. Absolutely love this movie. It was a great send-off for Tony, Black Widow, and Captain America. Obviously, Captain America got the happier ending out of the two, and Iron Man got a decent ending. At least he got good 5 years with Pepper and his daughter. Black Widow, I kind of wish she had a happier life. Very depressing stuff. For those 5 years, she was acting kind of like Nick Fury, commanding the rest of the Avengers who were still alive to help people. But it was I kind of wish she got a happier ending. But I guess it's not something everyone can get, and especially someone for Natalia, who's this secret spy who's lived a life of darkness or whatever. Maybe that's just the greatest thing she can do. But it's still kind of sad that had to happen to her. But I still emotional. Loved it. Loved the movie. Fantastic. Go watch it. Like I said, I gave it a 10 out of 10 because I absolutely loved it. There's so much more than I could talk about. I love seeing, like I said, a lot of the returning characters. There's a bunch of cameos of characters from the past. Like I love it. They're setting up they go back to the first Avengers movie, and Captain America is getting the Tesseract from the SHIELD agents, who we know are Hydra agents from Captain America Civil War, and he gets in an elevator like that. Like they set up the Civil War, not the Civil War, the Winter Soldier elevator fight scene. Like he gets in the elevator the same way, and he's surrounded by all these guys, and some of them get their hands on their guns and everything. Like oh, what's Captain America doing? Does he know we're Hydra or whatever? And he's like, oh, I'm here to take the Tesseract. And they're like, oh no, we didn't get any orders. And he leans over to one of the agents, and we get that comic book moment, and he's just like, "Hail Hydra!" And I absolutely died. I loved it. I was just laughing. It was hilarious. It was a great moment. You get all these characters back for a cameo, and Cap tricks them because he knows that they're Hydra. He's just like, "I'm just gonna say Hail Hydra and get out of the fight." It was really funny and amazing. So all those cameos and callbacks, we get a lot of characters from all the various movies, so it's really fantastic. But like I said, 10 out of 10. Absolutely loved it. If you've seen these movies or you're a fan of the movies, you're going to love it. Let me know what you thought of it. Let me know in the comments below what you love and what you hate. What you hope for the future is of these movies. We know we're getting a Spider-Man movie, and we have details. Like I said, there's a Black Widow movie, an Eternals movie. We're obviously going to get a Doctor Strange and Captain Marvel 2 movie, but where are we going to go from this? When's the next Avengers movie, or what's going to be like? Let me know in the comments what you think is going to happen. As always, thank you for watching, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out. What? Hey, if you like this video, we have several other awesome videos you can check out. And again, thanks for watching.